Our pointer is
Pointer's up at the desk.
well, if any of us have ever been out traveling before the era of smartphones and GPS, we might have at one time been lost, been a little questionable about our surroundings, and yet I know that as a stereotypically representation of the male species, I am somewhat reluctant to ask directions. So, where are we?
That on? Check the switch on the side. Is it on?
It is not. It is now. Armed and dangerous. Yes, as I like to say, where are we? This may perhaps be the real question. As real as anything as who am I? What am I doing? What's my purpose in life? Also, we might want to think of this as the 3CPO question. And I'll return to that shortly. Well, where we are is this little blue marble of a planet called Earth, which sits in our solar system. Here, you can see it there. It's a little bit dim. But here's our solar system, and we're fairly familiar with this. You know, we see all the planets out there. The recently demoted Pluto still hanging around, or a little dwarf planet out there. But really, once we get outside of the solar system, where are things? You know, how does this all really start to look? If we start to look in the solar interstellar neighborhood, our closest friends, actually our closest star friend out here is Alpha Centauri, which is about 4.3 million light years away. Now, a light year, to keep things in easy perspective, is only 186,000 miles per second. It takes us a little time to travel to our closest star neighbor there. But this is our little neighborhood. You know, we should get out and mingle sometime. And you know, if you think about a road trip, maybe we want to explore our little galaxy. You know, here's our little planet, our little solar interstellar neighborhood down here in this little backwater spiral of the Milky Way galaxy. And you know, there are road trips and there are road trips. What happens when we blast away from, you know, our nice little Milky Way galaxy? Well, we see that, hey, there's a few other galaxies out there. In fact, we have a local galactic group that we're members of. And, you know, I wasn't aware that we were members of the local galactic group until I started looking at this. But some really cool stuff out there. The large magenta-like clouds, those are actually observable from the southern hemisphere. Really, really neat sight. And some fantastic stuff out here. And we can see the Andromeda galaxy. You can hit that with binoculars. Well, with a good set of binoculars and a steady hand. I'd say on a clear night without clouds, which can be rare sometimes in our state. But some fantastic neighbors in our local galactic group. I encourage people to pull out a telescope and take a look. Now, our local galactic group happens to also be a member of what we call the Virgo supercluster. And as we see out there, there's a few other superclusters out there as well. And now if we kind of take a look here, you know, this is kind of where we're sitting in this Virgo supercluster. Now, Virgo's got some neighbors as well. So if we keep things in perspective, here's our little Virgo supercluster here that, you know, wasn't too small to begin with. And we see a lot of other things around there. So where are we? Well, here's the observable universe that we've seen so far to date. And here's our little supercluster. And, you know, if we were to really drill back down in there, we'd probably find our little planet. And to keep things in perspective, we started here at Earth, went through our solar system, our little stellar neighborhood, the galaxy, galactic groups, our supercluster group, looking at some other fun superclusters, and finally the observable universe, which all comes back to the question of where are we? Well, if there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that is furthest from, as Luke whined in Star Wars. So that is my answer to the question of where are we? Thank you.